Why did you choose UCSB over other universities?
I chose UCSB because it had the right balance of academics and quality of life for me. I wanted to go to school where I thought I was getting a great education, but I also didn't want to sacrifice where I was living in a place which was undesirable to live in.
And what or who pushed your interest in specializing in robotics at electrical and computer engineering at UCSB?
So when I was in school in the 80s, really the exciting thing, which was I think kind of more peaking, was the computer. The personal computer came out I think in the early 80s, and I was thinking to myself that robotics was the next step past the computers. And I also liked the fact that robotics interacts with the physical world. So I kind of put two and two together in terms of wanting to put my career based on what came after what was the current hot topic, if you will. And I also wanted to combine it with things that I really enjoy, which is things which interact with the physical world.
So you look towards the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what did you do anything for fun, extracurricular activities or internships?
You mean like sports and things?
Yeah, any extracurricular activities or while you're in school?
So the couple of sports which I enjoy a lot are surfing, which is another reason why UCSB was a good pick for me. And then I played tennis, and then I played some intramural sports when I was in college. And so it's got great possibilities to do lots of different activities.
Okay, great. Anything have to do with engineering? Any extracurricular activities like that or anything?
Well, when I was in school, so I went through my bachelor's, master's, and PhD, and so I think during my bachelor's I think they keep you pretty busy. So I was pretty busy then. During my master's, you start working on exciting projects, more individualistic, and I remember, again, this was now about '83, and I took my first graduate class in robotics, and we built a Heathkit Health Hero. It was called. I forget what it was called. I think it was called Hero was the name of the robot, and it was a robotic kit, and we all did different projects on it. So me and my partner worked on some interesting new additions to that kit, and then by the time you're on your PhD, you're really spending your time on your own research.
Okay. Who got you started towards this career path?
Well, it was actually my father who, when I was entering college, I didn't know what I wanted to major in, and so my father said, why don't you major in engineering, because everybody needs engineers. And so by picking engineering initially, it was kind of like I didn't have to make a very defined choice, because that is a great field to branch into to anything, whether you go into something in technology or even something in business, or I was actually thinking of oceanography as graduate work, and oceanography requires engineering as well.
Having studied as an undergraduate, master's, and PhD student in the ECE department, what did you find to be unique about engineering at UCSB?
Well, I think the engineering program at UCSB, first of all, it is in fact quite multidisciplinary. So there is good collaboration between the different departments: mechanical engineering, material science, electrical engineering, etc. I think with regards to the answer to that question is a little bit different for each phase, whether you're a bachelor's, master's, or PhD. I think as an undergraduate, it's just good. It's a good, solid core curriculum. It's probably not a lot different from the other schools, but the school has some really good faculty members, and they teach their core topics well. And then you get into your master's and say PhD. That's when it gets a little more individualized. And I was very fortunate to to end up with a PhD advisor who I'm still very good friends with today and work with on a weekly basis. And that was fundamental to having a good graduate experience for me.
Oh, that's great. What advice would you give incoming or current students?
So there's incoming undergraduate students or graduate students?
To the school or current students at the school.
What advice would I give?
Mm-hmm.
I think that it turns out I didn't know I was going to become an engineer and work as an engineer because I saw it as a platform to get into a lot of different potential areas, and I think that's true. So, but it turned out that I really enjoyed engineering and robotic engineering as a career for myself. So I think that, I guess the advice I'd give is to figure out, engineering itself has so many different disciplines, and so where they want to find their own career path, they probably should be exploring some of the different disciplines throughout engineering to figure out where they want to specialize. Then a lot of engineers who are trained in engineering don't end up working in engineering. They work in business, they work in sales, they work in marketing, and I think those are all great careers as well. So, and it a little bit depends on your personality type. If you're someone who wants to be outside more, interacting with people more, not in a design environment, I think that's something that you should figure out for yourself. And if that's the case, you get a very nice, solid engineering education, but then you figure out how to move your career into that kind of direction versus others who just like engineering and like the design or other aspects of engineering. Then you can kind of vector yourself in that direction.
So kind of keep your options open.
And I think keep your options open and understand what you like and what you don't like, and drive your own education to be supportive of that. In other words, if you're studying engineering, you may find out you don't want to become a design engineer, in fact, plenty of people don't, and understand that early so you can figure out how you want to drive your career in other directions.
How has College of Engineering at UCSB influenced your life path?
Well, the College of Engineering in UCSB has been pretty fundamental to my life. I mean, the educational basis allowed me to start 2 companies, and both of which have been quite successful. It's been a source of new talent. I've hired a lot of engineers from UCSB, excuse me, and some of our top engineers are all from UCSB. And I think the constant dialogue with various professors there has also been very helpful. Great.
Do you do any collaborations with current faculty at UCSB?
I do. In fact, my PhD advisor, a gentleman named Professor Steve Butner, works a day a week here with me at this company, and so we're very tightly collaborated, if that's a word. And we've hired a lot of the students from there.
Okay. And how are the College of Engineering alumni involved with InTouch Health, or are they involved?
The college,
the alumni from the College of Engineering, are they involved in InTouch Health at all?
Yeah, so we've hired many alumni from UCSB into InTouch.